So it's like a force of habit. Every time before I take a shot, I'm always smoothing my beard out and like curling my mustache. And I don't have a beard or a mustache right now because it's finally warm in Canada. Yay! Let's get into the video part. So, as I alluded to in my last video, this month is Flux month. I'm just going to build a bunch of Flux body pens to hopefully have them on my site for stock, so it's not such a fire sale when I launch stuff, because that's annoying. Not annoying for me, I love selling quickly, but I mean, probably annoying for you. It's nicer to be able to purchase at your leisure. So, I have about 40 of these Flux pens prepped. These ones don't have their exteriors turned yet, so this is kind of how they start. I milled the serial flat into these. I changed the process slightly on how I do the serial flats as well. I kind of come in with a ball. I've always come in with a ball mill and done it, but now I come in sideways with a ball mill, just to kind of give it a pattern that I like better, and then I don't have to do any hand finishing on this. So I've also changed the engraving down to a 1/32 inch ball mill because it just produces a engraving that I like. I started doing that on the bolt action pens, and I liked it so much I moved it to the Flux pens. Takes a bit longer than the V graving I normally do on those, but it just looks better. Anyways, those ones that already have the serials engraved into them are either going to be brass, or they're going to be some new weird grip variants I'm working on, or they're going to be the blackened ones, because that process works. If I do the Subnautic finish, which is that super heavy patina process, it's also going to patina the text, which is okay, but it's very aggressive, so it can sometimes wash out the text, and if not, it just makes the text the same color as the pen, which makes it really hard to read, especially on that style of that surface finish, that super green, blue, mottled, rusted kind of finish. So on these Subnautic pens, I basically full polish them. I cut them down, cut the exterior down. I mean, do the full turning, cut all the leads, everything on the threads. Basically, this pen I could sell it online right now. It doesn't have a serial number on it, but it's good for sale. What we're gonna do first, obviously before I sell that, is we're going to put the patina process on here. So this is going to turn it that gross, beautiful Subnautic finish. And then once we're done, we'll come back in, I'll re-index it into the mill, and we'll re-engrave, or we'll engrave the serial number into it. And that way the serial number will be really bright brass compared to the super nasty looking Subnautic finish. In my opinion, it just makes a better looking unit. The text is nice and crisp. I've done a bunch of different ways over the years. This is just the way I want to do it, so I'm going to do it this way. And that's also why the Subnautic pens take a little bit more time and cost a little bit more money, because the patina process that I'm going to be dropping in today takes about 4 days to complete. It's almost completely hands-off, but there's a couple little tweaks I do to kind of get the finish the way I like it. So that takes about 4 days, and then re-indexing them into the mill is kind of annoying, because if I don't have that flat perfect, you get a weird wonky engraving. So that takes a little bit too. So that's why they cost more money, but they also look super cool. Once that is finished, we will do a coating on them. So normally on all my Subnautic pens, I coat them. I put a clear coat around them, just basically protect that finish, give it a little bit longer life. It does look good when it wears away with time as well. But I mean, most people that are buying that pen want that finish, so I want to maintain that as long as possible. Years ago, I had purchased clear Cerakote to put on these pens. Cerakote is it's a ceramic powder coating, if you want to think of it that way. A lot of like high-end guns and knives and some pens have Cerakote on them, just because it's a very durable coating that's fairly easy to apply. I found that with the Subnautic patina, and if I put the Cerakote on it and then go through the baking process to cure the coating, you get kind of like an orange and black pen, which is not what I want. I want to maintain those colors. So I've been tweaking with it and playing with different temperatures and different processes, and I think I have it dialed where it'll just work like a clear coating like I want it to. So if that works out, I have a few dud pens from this batch that didn't make sale because they're off alignment or something. So we're going to use those to basically test the Cerakote on, and if that works well, I'll do the entire batch, and then I'll have a nice super durable coating on these pens, which is yay, awesome, right? Always a step better. So always trying to do that. I'm gonna grab a coffee. Let's get into it. pens are all finished, the next thing to do is pop them in the ultrasonic cleaner to get all the grime off them, and then they can go through the patina process. In past videos, you've seen I've 3D printed these racks. These basically go inside my ultrasonic cleaner, and they keep the pens from bumping into one another, and they also keep it from touching the sidewalls of the tank, and it lets me keep like parts together, just nice and organized. These worked pretty good. They're printed in PETG, and I run my tank at about between 50 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius. And while they work, they nest like this too. While they work fine, over time they kind of start to get a little wonky. You can see this one's getting all kinds of wiggly wonky. So I have to keep dropping my bath temperature to keep that from happening. But I had a local friend, Eric, who decided to lend his skills in resin printing and printed me some of the racks that I designed in a resin that was apparently built to handle the temperature of my bath. The prints came out way better. Just a resin printer so much more suited to this weird geometry. But they're still, I mean, they're significantly better than mine. But they are still, this one isn't, but they are still getting a little wonky after a few cooking sessions. And then the problem is they don't stay flat. They start to kind of potato chip. I don't know if you can see this one. It's starting to slowly curve after just a few cycles. And the annoying bit is I want them to nest, and then if they start potato chipping, they don't nest anymore, which means they can kind of shuffle off each other in the tank from vibration, then bump the sides, and just causes me more issues. So we're kind of both exploring options to try to find a solution that works, where I can get these racks that don't move. I could also drop my tank temperature to like 30 degrees and it would probably fix all these problems, but I want to run it where I want to run it because I like the cleaning to happen there. So thankfully he's willing to mess around and try to find me some high temp resins to work. So I thank you very much, Master Eric, for your work you're putting in. Hopefully it comes to fruition and works out for us. So now we just wait for the pens to dry a little bit and then pop them into the patina process, and those are going to be ready for coating. I won't go over my exact patina process because quite honestly, it took me a lot of finagling to come up with the method that I use to get the patterns that I like. And that's just something I want to keep a little bit more secret. But I will say, to patina brass to those weird greens and blues, all you use is, or all I have used, is ammonia and salt. And you just kind of mess around with that in different variants. There's a ton of tutorials you can look up. I'm sure people can figure out their own ways. You can even look through my old Instagram. You could probably kind of get hints onto the way I do my process. But yeah, you basically you can vapor bath it in ammonia and salt. You can pack the salt onto it. There's a million different ways you can do it to get all kinds of strange patterns. But that's how I get the weird colors onto that. There's some other little things I do. But yeah, that's the basic of it. And it just takes time. Like I said, to get the process I want on those pens, like 3 or 4 days is what I found to produce pretty primo results. Lastly, I actually got to do some pretty cool 4th axis work. I don't know if anything's going to come of it yet, but these are little bands that another manufacturer, Goodwood Golf, you can link them, their Instagram below. They actually, another local, as in like the world, another guy making some really cool products. I believe he's also kind of working out of his garage. He hit me up with just trying to do some cool kind of 4th axis milling work. So I was right in the middle of 4th axis work. It's streamlined perfectly, so I cut him a few samples. I don't know if anything's going to come of it yet, but he's doing really cool stuff. So if you're into golf at all, go check out his custom putters. He does some pretty slick work, and it's kind of fun to work with somebody else doing some cool stuff. So that is all I have for you this week. Next week, we'll show you those cool finishes, or you can just look through my Instagram and see the pictures ahead of time. Whatever works. I hope you enjoy doing it is whatever you do that brings you enjoyment in life, and I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.